Hello everyone, welcome to the online lecture series on data analysis course under the UGC slide scheme. I am Dr. Kalpesh Amrutkar, Assistant Professor in Department of Statistics, KTHM College, Nasik. Today we will see the non-parametric test. So, in previous lectures, we have seen that there are four levels of measurement. That is the nominal scale. This is the first measurement of the data. That is the nominal scale. In that nominal scale, there are the classificatory type of data available. That is the, for example, we can say that gender or ethnic background like this. These are the covered in the nominal scale type of data, or that is the classification type data is there. Further, the next level is ordinal or ranking scale. So in that case, we can see that like the beauty of this particular person, that is beautiful or not beautiful, like this. Then mean the we can rank the type of data, or like the hardness of rocks. That like this, they are very hard, or not hard, like this. This type of ranking are there. Further, we can say that the interval type scale data. So in that case, we can say that the Celsius or Fahrenheit type of such type of measurements are there. So which is covered in the interval type of data. In the ratio scale, we can say the speed, height, mass, or weight. Such type of variables are covered in the ratio scale type of data. Okay, so these are the four levels of measurement, and which is already seen in the previous lectures. So today we will see the non-parametric test. So their introduction, or why we study the non-parametric test, further their advantage of that non-parametric test, or when we use the non-parametric test, and cover the one non-parametric test, that is the run test. So basically we already seen in previous lecture, that is the parametric test, but parametric tests have some assumption, that is the your data should be follows normal distributions. Okay, then normality always follows in data. So every data is maybe not follow the normality assumptions. Okay, so or also one more thing is that in parametric test we will study only the quantitative type of variables. Okay, or we can say that interval scale type of data. But if your data is a categorical type or maybe non-normal type of data, so that case what we should, or why what we analyze the data, how to analyze the data, so such type of data we handle through the non-parametric test, because they have not required any assumption, that is the normality assumption is not required, and if your data is a categorical type, you can go to directly the non-parametric test. So already if we have seen that the parametric test has the assumption, that is the observation should be independently distributed, or your data comes from that particular population, and this population should be the normal, satisfy the normality of this test. So and one more assumption is the your variance should be homogeneous. If this assumption is valid, then and then we can go to the parametric test. But every data is not satisfied this assumption. So if those data are not satisfied this assumption, so that way case we need the non-parametric test for analyzing the data, and it is a very safe test for the analyzing this data. Okay, so means that a major advantage of the non-parametric test is your sample size is very small, then we can go directly to non-parametric, because if your data is too small, so that case normality assumption is not satisfied most of the time. If your data is or sample size is very less, so that case normality assumption is not good. If your data is larger and larger, then and then ultimately our data follows the normality. Also, if your data is a categorical type, it's not a quantitative type of data, if your data is a qualitative data, so such type of data handled through the non-parametric test, and their result should be very perfect, and there are less number of error is available. And these tests are very easy to apply, and their results should be very comprehensive. So that's why we use the non-parametric test. So already we have seen that. So sample size is very small. Means what? That if your data has less than 20 observations, so we can go directly the non-parametric, because if you have to using the non-parametric test such type of small sample data, so your normality assumption is not true. There are high probability to this assumption, normality assumption is violate. So, and one more thing, that the type 1 error should be increased. If you have to use the parametric test, so type 1 error should be increased. So also in if you have to use the very small data to the parametric test, so there is a some outliers. If your outliers are present in your data, so this is the affecting your the parametric test. Means there is, if these outliers are present in data, so there is a type 1 error should be increased in parametric test. But in non-parametric test, outliers not affected in your data, because we have studied the ordinal type of data or rank should be used. So that case your outlier is not affecting your results. So there is at least one non-parametric test is available which is equivalent to the parametric test. Every parametric test has equivalent test available in the non-parametric test. Means if your assumption is not true for that particular data, then you can go to the non-parametric test. But already we know that which data has which test used in parametric test. So there are alternative tests are available in the non-parametric test. So there are several tests are available for the non-parametric, that is the test of differences between groups, that is independent sample, and independent sample test, that is the we have seen in the previous lecture, that is the two sample t test. So which is the that two sample t test has the alternative tests available in non-parametric test, or test of differences between variable, that is dependent sample, that is the pair t test is available for the parametric test. So their alternative is also available in the non-parametric test, or test of relationship between the variables. These are also available here in non-parametric test. So generally non-parametric test is based on the median, because there is no any assumption required for the distribution. So that is the distribution free tests are there. Means magnitude of differences are not compared in this test. So we can directly use or analyze the data through the rank. Okay, so when your assumption is not valid for the parametric test, we can go to the non-parametric, and there is a commonly used tests are the run test, sign test, Kruskal-Wallis test, Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. So many tests are available in non-parametric, but these basic tests, which is the very useful for the our day-to-day lab. So that's why we can use the we can study this test in our syllabus. So and the non-parametric test is mostly useful for the non-normal data and categorical type of data. Most of the times, if our data is non-normal, we can normalize the data by using the some transformation, that is the log transformation, exponential transformation. But sometimes after transformation, data also not follows the normality assumption. So that case we can use the non-parametric test. So there are some non-parametric tests which is included in your syllabus, that is the run test, sign rank test, Kruskal-Wallis test, and Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. So these tests are covered in your syllabus. So first test is the run test. So we are focused on the firstly the run test. Generally run test is useful for the checking the randomness of your data. Means if your data is random, follows the nature is randomly or not, if your data is coming from that particular population which is the randomly or not. So if we can check this, so this test is useful for this. Match means the run assumption objective of this run test is to check the randomness of their data. So firstly we need the run. Generally, run is a sequence of data having the some character. There are some characteristics are there, and there we can count the runs. Means suppose we have the 0 0 1 0. So 0 0 is one run. One, then change the number, that is the one. So your second run, and after one there are again 0. So that is the third run. So these are the counting of the run. Each run is preceded by and followed by data with a different characteristic. That I have already said that 0 and then 1. There are different number. So these are the run. The number of data in a run is called the length of the run. Means there are if you have the 5 observation, that is the 0 0 1 0 0. So means if you have the 5 observation, but the length of the run is only 3, because first 2 0 is the one run, then 1 is second run, and then lastly 2 0 is there. So that is the third run. Means the length of the run in the sequence is 3. We can see in the example like this. Suppose we have the liquid dispensing machine, and we want to design it to fill the 1 liter bottle. This machine is designed for the filling the 1 liter water in that particular bottle, whatever the not necessarily water, whatever the liquid is there. So quality control inspector decide that there is some level, acceptable level is there. If the bottle fill this level, then it is a pass, otherwise the fail remark is there. So here we have the 16 bottles, and out of these 16, some are fail and some are pass. So first 2 bottles are pass, and then third bottle is fail, fourth fail, fifth fail, sixth fail, like this. So these are our data. So first 2 bottle is pass, there. So this is the one run. Then second bottle has the the second run is fail fail fail. So it is the second run. Then again P, the third run, like this. These are the runs. Okay, and length of the run means this first run has 2p, means two observations that. So that is the length of this run, or that particular run is 2. And length of sequence is the 5 runs, that is the 5. Okay, so any test performing, so firstly what we define our claim, that is we define the hypothesis, null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis define, which is the necessary for the any test. So firstly the null hypothesis is the sequence of data is random, and alternative hypothesis is sequence of data is not random. Okay, because our interest to check the given data is random or not. Okay, so test statistics for the run test, if your observation is less than 20, then simply we can use the test statistic G, that is the number of runs. Okay, and if your sample size or data is greater than the 20, then we can use the Z test, that is G minus mu J upon sigma J, that is the we can simply go through for that test statistics if your data greater than 20 observations. Okay, so firstly what is the procedure for the run test? So firstly we identify the claim, that means state the null and alternative hypothesis, that is H0 and HA should be properly defined. Okay, further we specify the level of significance, that means identify the alpha, and in generally 5% level of significance is affordable, that means in general we can use the alpha is equal to 0.05. Okay, further we can determine the number of data that have the characteristics and counting the number of runs, that means determine the n1 n2 and G, that means sample size and test statistics should be defined. Okay, so further we can find the critical value based on the your level of significance, and which is already available in the statistical table, that is the run test table is available in your statistical table. For that 5% level of significance, 1% level of significance, like this, these are the available in your statistical table. You can go to this table and compare this value to the calculated test statistic, that is G, and by using this table value and calculated value we can make the decision to reject or fail to reject the null hypothesis, and after that decision we can conclude the our result. So these are the procedure for the run test. So we can see one example for the run test. Suppose we have the suppose the people enter a concert and uses the records where they are sitting. Okay, our interest is to they are sitting or not. So the result for 13 people are shown, where real represent the lawn seat and P represent for pavilion seat. Means the peoples are come for that particular concert. So these people, how many people are sitting in the lawn and how many people are sit in the pavilion. So this type of data is available. Suppose we have the 13 people, so some people are sit in the lawn and some people are in the pavilion. So these are the data. So we have this the first run, the second run, third run, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. There are the 7 run like this here. These are the first run, second run, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh run are there. And our interest is the data is means sitting locations is randomly or not. Means the people are come which are the sitting randomly or not. So these are our interest. So the null hypothesis the sequence of seat locations is random and alternate hypothesis sequence of location is not random. So our interest is the sitting location is not random. Okay. So that is the number of ELs are 7 and number of P's are 6. So in our 13 observation, 7 people are seated in the lawns and 6 people are seated in pavilion. So total runs in the data is 7. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 run is available and alpha is 0.05. So our table value is 312. This is our observed value and this is the critical value that 312. So here, so these are the your 7 g is equal to 7 when value of n1 is and value of n2 is there. What is the value of n1? N1 is 7 and n2 is 6. So n1 n2, if this n1 7 and n2 is 6, so this column is has the value 3 and 13. That means lower critical value is 3 and upper critical value is 12. Okay, so these are the critical value. So based on the critical value, your null hypothesis your sequence is random and alternative hypothesis sequence is not random. So these critical value is 3 and 12. So and your test statistic is 7. So our decision is this 7 is lies between the 3 and 12. That means we fail to reject the null hypothesis. If this G test statistics is outside this interval, then and then we can say that we reject the null hypothesis. But here this 7 value is lies between lower critical and upper critical value. So therefore at 5% level of significance there is not enough evidence to support the claim that the sequence of seat location is not random. That means it appears that the sequence of seat location is randomly. So in today's lecture we can say that so in today's lecture we have seen that the introduction of non-parametric test means what is the non-parametric test, then why we study the non-parametric test, why we use it, and we have covered in today's lecture that is the one non-parametric test is run test. So we have seen that in the run test there are hypotheses, there are test statistics, their decision by using the one example. Okay, so in next lecture we will see the Wilcoxon sign rank test and Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. So both tests has what is the hypothesis, what is your test statistic. So we will see in the next lecture. Okay, so thank you so much.